Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you breathe out, just feel a sense of gentle release. Scan your body for any clues of tension, stress or worries, expectations or pressures, and just decide that you don't need them. Allow them to feel like they're dissolving, melting away, detaching from you, and feel them leave your body in that outward breath. And when you breathe in, just get a sense that you're breathing in optimistic resourcefulness. The kind of resourcefulness that you just expect to have a positive impact on you. Feel that tension melting away. Breathe in deeper than you normally would, and exhale for longer. And just get a sense that you're drifting into a place where change happens. And change can happen in an instant. Deciding on a new priority, making a single decision, doing something impulsive and new. The moment you do that thing once increases the probability of doing it a second time. And if that once new thing occurs a few times, linked to positive emotions, don't be surprised if you end up continuing to do that thing as an unconscious habit. And one unconscious habit that many people learned in their childhood was the ability to pick up a remote control and to surf through channels completely on autopilot. To allow the channel to change and to keep changing until something buys their attention. I want you to think of an old sofa that you used to watch TV on. Picture that sofa. Imagine feeling the texture of the material of that sofa. Imagine sitting on that sofa, feeling perhaps how firm or soft it may be. And maybe that sofa had a smell. Or maybe it just made you feel a certain way. And maybe there was a way that you sat on that sofa when you were watching TV while relaxing. Maybe it was feet up. Maybe you found a comfy cushion. Maybe it was a recliner and you laid backwards. But just in your imagination, feel that you are recreating the most relaxing way of watching something on television in a sofa created from memory. Imagine a TV set. Maybe a modern one, maybe an old one. And maybe you can recognize a remote control in your hand. Maybe your current remote control, or maybe one that you would have used back then sitting on that sofa. And just imagine you're scrolling through the channels until you see an old classic movie. I want you to see a young-looking Bill Murray. I want you to imagine you see an iconic scene. A clock radio waking him up with new music. I want you to imagine what it would be like to watch the movie Groundhog Day just in your imagination. Imagine seeing the Bill Murray character repeat each day again and again and again until his character in the movie figures out that the way he escapes a day on repeat is to raise his standards, to live the best version of his life. And I want you to imagine floating into the TV screen. And imagine how you would feel to live your own Groundhog Day. A Groundhog Day of healthy choices. Just imagine some random day, a typical day. Imagine waking up in whichever way you typically wake up. Maybe it's sunshine going through the window. Maybe an alarm clock or an alert on your phone. But I want you to imagine having a day that is worse than your normal day. Not because bad things happen, but because in this day, you make perhaps the worst choices you could make when it comes to food. Perhaps you could imagine waking up and eating a big breakfast full of carbohydrates almost immediately after waking. I want you to imagine a day where almost everything you eat is processed foods or ultra-high processed foods. Foods with flour and sugar and corn syrup, chemicals and E-numbers, salt, cornstarch, all of those cheap processed ingredients designed to turn consumers into addicts. Imagine that day where you eat poor quality food and lots of it, snacking the moment you feel not even hunger, but just a craving. Imagine using whatever application delivers food right to your home. And imagine ordering large quantities of that. I want you to imagine a gluttonous day, a greedy day, a day where you feel lethargic. And notice how that saps your energy levels. And notice how badly you sleep that night. And because it was a day of poor choices, imagine waking up the next day to live the same day again. Only now you have a plan to make this new day better than the last. And there's a low benchmark. On a day that was a spectacular failure, even a bad day is a good day in comparison. So imagine a day of eating processed foods, refined carbohydrates, and maybe one very big meal. But in contrast to eating all of that ultra-high processed food, it still feels like progress. I want you to feel that this day, very little activity, hanging around your home, no exercise at all. Just imagine that if you lived every day like this, you would see no progress and probably expect yourself to be bigger and sicker in your future. And if you can feel that you could improve upon this day, let me know by nodding your head. So imagine going to sleep, not sleeping very well, and then suddenly it's Groundhog Day again, waking up to repeat the same day. Only now you know what to do to make your choices better. Imagine having a day where you eat breakfast later. Maybe your first meal of the day is after 11 a.m. No snacks, you eat at meal times. And just imagine that 25% of all the food you eat is food powered by sunshine and rainwater. Natural, fibrous, whole foods. And maybe there's one large meal, but that large meal generally is made from non-processed foods. And we could call this just an average day. But this average day isn't enough to complete and graduate Groundhog Day. Imagine going to sleep at a reasonable time, and then before you know it, waking up to relive that same day again. Only now you're setting the intention to have a good day. And that good day may be a day where at least half of everything that you eat is natural, good quality food. Much less processed food than normal. You're having portions that are perhaps larger than average, but not excessively large. And imagine on this day, there's a workout, a bit of cardio, or just a long walk. And if you feel like this would be a good day, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to feel that choices over time are what matters. That over a year, it would be better to have 200 good days than 10 exceptional days. Feel that the game is now winnable, as every day could be a good day, and every now and then you could have a great day. So imagine reliving that same day, but this now is a great day. Portion sizes are smaller. 80% now of what you eat is healthy, natural foods. Imagine a day of 10,000 steps, maybe a workout. And the hunger you feel every now and then lets you know your body is either in calorie deficit or your stomach is shrinking. And what truly makes it a great day isn't that you're eating healthy natural foods or choosing to prepare the foods yourself rather than ordering food in. It isn't that most of your liquids are water or black coffee, or that you're getting a good night's sleep. I want you to make one of the criteria for this great day is that it's okay to feel a little hungry. And feeling hungry just before you sleep is almost the perfect gift you could give your body. I want you to feel that a great day is enough to graduate Groundhog Day. But every now and then, I want you to imagine you feel that exceptional days will naturally be there. Maybe once a week, or maybe 2 or 3 times a month. But you don't need every day to be great or exceptional to make progress. They just make you feel good while you're making progress. So imagine waking up and having that exceptional day. And make the evaluation that what makes it an exceptional day is a day of more activity, maybe 15,000 steps, maybe 40 minutes of cardio. Notice that on that exceptional day, you're having 2 meals of mostly natural foods that is a very reasonable portion. That you feel proud of these 2 meals. You feel proud that you've been more active. You feel that this is an exceptional day. And that elevates your confidence and self-esteem. But you can also make the evaluation that exceptional days are bonus days, not necessary days. This is the cherry on top. It isn't required to make progress. It just enhances it. And feel that on that night, you're getting more than 8 hours of good quality, restful sleep. And then imagine waking up Only you're not waking up to repeat the same day. It's a new day. But wouldn't it be a shame to learn all these lessons from Groundhog Day and choose to go back to average days? Why would anyone choose to have an average day when they can choose to have a good day, a great day, and perhaps even an exceptional day? So I want you to imagine, day after day, that the majority of your days are good. Every now and then they're great. And every once in a while, they're exceptional. And as time goes on, there's fewer and fewer bad days and average days. And as the days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into months, and you build a streak of having good day after good day after good day, imagine seeing a reflection of yourself in a full-length mirror, or perhaps a shop window on a high street. And just notice that increased confidence, that changed physique, what you've lost in weight, you've gained in confidence, didn't come from diets and regimes. It came from having good days. And if this feels like a winnable game, let me know by nodding your head. And I wonder just how many good days you will start to have. Because it's difficult when you're used to having good days and great days to be willing to tolerate bad days. When you're used to getting exceptional service, you can't really accept poor quality service. When you've got used to having good quality food, why would you choose to have something inferior? I want you to feel that good days, great days, and the occasional exceptional day isn't a chore, isn't a struggle, but is actually a gift from yourself to yourself. You are worthy of having great days. And the more great days you have, the more it becomes natural to expect more great days. And then feel like you're no longer in the TV, but you're back there on the sofa. But it's no longer Bill Murray in Groundhog Day on the screen. You're seeing yourself day after day, having good days, great days, and the occasional exceptional day. And see how much weight you've lost and how much confidence you've gained. That it has radically changed your life by finding lots of small ways to turn a bad day into an average day, to turn an average day into a good day, and to turn a good day into a great day. Imagine leaving that sofa and returning to the present moment as you take a deep breath in In through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connect fully into the present moment as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you from this hypnotic Groundhog Day into the present and future of increasingly good days. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.